Hey guys, I mean
every time.
Hello. So episode 3. Welcome back. I'm sure by now you guys might have noticed a change in the dynamic.
Yep.
Or obviously there's now 3 of us instead of 4. There's not really it's not that deep. The reason's not that deep, but just a difference in, I suppose, direction. And yeah, we just kind of figured that it's not really for everyone. But yeah, so we just thought that we'd address that because we obviously haven't addressed it. But yeah, from now on it will just be the 3 of us.
Yeah, it's not passo. There's just
yeah, definitely not.
Just same vibes, just different crew.
I've got a special guest today.
So introduce yourself then.
Tell us a bit of background information. Lola, where you from? No, I'm joking.
Hi guys, I'm Lola. Call me Lola for short.
How long have we known each other?
Oh,
Strong one.
Years
I can't remember.
that's like.
No, not college. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
you guys
I went to college. I love college.
Which is still a good 6-7
years.
Yeah.
2013.
All right,
love
Yeah,
it.
no
numbers on it. No numbers.
thank you.
And yeah, the rest of school.
10 years.
Yeah,
10 years.
about 10
And
plus.
jumps as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So obviously. Yeah. So obviously the episode today, we're mainly. Let's do it in history or the background, innit? Because obviously.
Well, we
Lola
rolled,
Day.
didn't it? We was rolling.
Yes.
We used to like
Go college.
Yeah, college. There's a batch of about
Madness.
7 of 8 of us.
Strong batch.
And we when there's a big group, usually like sometimes you find that people go off or like some are closer than others. I feel like with us lot, we was all tight. Like we was together all the time. We was always at each other's houses. Like we'd go motives like all the time, innit? So
and that was for a solid like
couple of years.
Yeah. Like we knew everything about each other. At that period of our lives, like everyone knew in the group everything.
Yeah.
So it's like we was tight.
Strong foundation. So,
yeah.
Definitely.
And then
Well, that leads us to today's episode.
No, you know what? It's mad, yeah, but I think a lot of friendship groups do experience like
A distance.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what the difference is, a lot of them don't come back from it, innit?
No.
I mean, like
because it's hard to
It
it's
is,
hard to
it's
come back.
Yeah, I think people hold grudges and stuff, so I think, and people are obviously prideful that they...
no, yeah, of course.
I think, most of the times there's definitely pride that has a part to play in it, and the fact that you've also had a history with those people, so it's just like,
It actually hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it does hurt, and it's hard, so...
100%.
Especially when you're that close to someone.
Well, not that I've...
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's but it's not always. Sometimes you have that distance with friends, and it doesn't necessarily like affect you. Not, do you know what I mean? Like some friendships, it's like alright, cool. Like we've had our time. You've had our time. We accept it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
you
anytime,
realise that you have a difference in paths.
Yeah, but
So
when
it's-
that distance was there with
Us.
Lola Day.
It was not even distance because it was just like we went from being brethren to
There was no
being,
conversation.
Yeah.
We saw each other briefly when we
were
was both
pregnant.
pregnant
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, and we linked. And even then, it was like, for me, I don't know you, it was like, rah, this is mad.
Yeah.
Like, I miss you, but what's happening
What do
here?
you
Like,
even
it was like a
say?
breakup
Yeah.
when you link your ex and you're just like,
You're
what's
closure.
yeah, I need closure. But it was just
Still
like,
like
rah,
it, but...
I don't know what I'm doing. So even that for me, it was like, bruv, you are my close friend.
Yeah.
We went to not speaking. We're now in this crazy situation, and it wasn't just you. Like, I literally did lose like my 2 other best friends. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't have them in my pregnancy, and you didn't either. So it's like, it's not just a small thing. It's actually, it was deep.
I think when I saw you, I think it sort of dawned upon me that like my good friends are sort of not around me at this time, and I think because you were pregnant as well, it was just like
That's the
we're
moment that
literally
as
1 week
friends...
apart. Yeah, it was just like, well, we've been through a lot, and now we're at another like milestone in our lives, and it's just like we don't even know each other to call on and say, I'm having mad pains or whatever it may be. So
mad.
it's
It's
mad.
It's
I want to get into that though,
Yeah.
but after I think we more touch on like
why,
but I want to get into, because even obviously for you it must have felt one way, but I think for us, even now looking back, it's like, did I do enough to try and keep that there? Do you know what I mean? That's
but
a thought that I have
into the whole thing of why it happened, because for me
it
was like, what did I miss? What did I miss with my tight brethrens that I didn't realise that they needed something, or they felt a way about something to attract them into how the friendship broke down? And for me, it was a lot of like, was I not supportive? Did you not feel like you could talk to me? Like, that was where it was like, raw.
I wouldn't even say it was a lack of support or not being there for one another. I think it was just when it had happened, it was a fresh start for myself as well as the people who I was around. So the way we were introduced to Christ was different in comparison to how I've been introduced to Christ over the years, going with my mum and, you know, going with myself. So I think it was just different this time. It was literally going into, you know, a new place. Full on. And it was heavy. It was literally like straight into it, like go mode, extremist mode.
Yeah.
do
And
you think that was a bit of like a distraction as well from like what was actually going on? In a sense that if you're like, do you know what I mean?
But distraction in what sense though?
Like, I mean, because it was so intense. You probably didn't really have time to sit down and think about what was going on with like your friendship groups as much.
To be honest with you, no, I'm not gonna act in denial to that, because I did know what was happening to my friendship group.
Oh, okay.
I was very much aware of the fact that, okay, you know, things are getting a bit distant, things are getting a bit ashy. Like it's one of them ones where it's gonna be hard to sort of call up under there.
But you thought it was the right thing
at the time, how it had made sense to us and how the logic was, you know, friend was like, do you know what, these are people of the world and these are people of, you know, the church.
That phrase.
And that phrase. But the thing is, it can be taken to a whole nother extent, and it can be taken at hindsight value.
No, like, you know what, 100%.
These are still your friends at the end of the day. You have to sort of still hold them there. But I think it was just a mad transition for us lot. Okay, let me not even talk for anybody else. Let me talk for myself. I think it was a mad transition for myself, and like I said, it was not Christianity like your usual. It was a extremist.
Extreme,
So I think when I realised that after like a year and a bit, actually, it even took time for me to even reach out, because it was still of like sort of malfunctioning myself, getting myself back to norm and you know, understanding.
I remember I saw you, and even that I remember saying to Bex, I don't know how I said to you as well, actually.
I remember.
I felt quite emotional, because even though I wasn't like,
I'd be crybaby.
no, I did, but I saw Lola, and I just knew, like, we had a bit of a conversation about what had happened and stuff, and I just knew that, like, I don't know, man, I just knew that not how badly, but how much, like, you had missed the friendship,
100%.
and how much it had an impact, and you just didn't know how to go about it, and it was kind of like, it was just one of them things, everyone needs to have a discussion.
So how long after you left
did I speak to you after that?
Yeah.
I think it was about maybe under a year, you know.
Really?
I had left
that long?
I had left in about...
Yeah, because I think...
someone had said to me, you know, Lola, they don't go no more.
Yeah, but I suppose, like I said to you guys at the beginning,
you had to
extremist. It was Christianity, like, it was the same thing when you were seeing Christianity, but what we were learning was thorough. It was, you know, not just in the middle, you had to go to the whole degree. But that's the thing, like I said, because it was something new for all of us that we've been taught about Christianity, but this way it just seemed different, you know, the church, that's not the same, you know, the different church. So for us, it was just like, okay, like, we want to know God in a different way. We want to know God deeper. So that's what we hold on to. That's what I know I held on to. So when I was being taught about it, because there was so much activities and so much stuff constantly going on within the church, there wasn't that time to sort of reflect until when certain things started to change within myself, like getting pregnant. Yeah. And I saw the way that dynamics changed in the church in regards to people, how they started acting towards me. And that's when I started to realise certain things.
Do you think because it was your friends or people you thought you were your friends, it made you realise more than people that you didn't really know that well in the church?
Yeah,
for example,
100%.
like, obviously you met people in church and you were friendly with them, but it's nothing compared to like the friends that you've had all them years. It's one more than the other, especially because you lot had been friends for however. So did you feel like maybe, you know, it was more this has done this to my own people, like they turn their back on me, or do you feel like it was just the general consensus that put you off really?
To be honest, if I'm going to be honest, I think it was me falling pregnant.
That gave you that realization.
Yeah. 100%.
But why do you think?
Because when you give birth, especially when you fall pregnant in church, it's seen in a crazy light. Like, because you're meant to be going somewhere, you're meant to be learning, you're meant to be changing in your ways. So for you to end up pregnant,
yeah, because even for us, when I heard that you was pregnant, I was like,
very taken
we
back.
was all like,
hold on,
we was all like, bro.
So she couldn't be my friend, but like that I was like, what the hell?
Still there, keeping up.
No, that's the thing, you can be there in physical and not be there in terms of being.
Yeah,
But I don't even, my personal opinion on that is I don't really see anything wrong with that happening. Like, that wasn't a young girl. Like, it wasn't.
But that's the thing. And I think that needed to happen.
Yeah.
I think that definitely needed to happen to some extent, because for me, it taught me certain things, especially about God and the way that I should have seen God from a jump. Like, I think it brought, shed more light on the fact that God is love. And yeah, there's friends in the world and then there's friends in church and all of these different things, but at the end of the day, God is still love. Like, that doesn't ever change.
Yeah.
God doesn't leave one to be with the 100. It's still, God is the foundation, you get what I'm saying? God will chase after that one person and leave the 99 to be with that one person. So I think when I fell pregnant, that's when I started to realise, because I've realised that people around me, or people who were, meant to be my friends or my mentors,
are judging you.
They rebuked me, which they had every right to do. But in terms of, covering
do you
me
think
with
that
love,
though? Do you think that they were right in their behaviour?
I can't justify it.
Because I'm not being funny. Do you think you're the only one that was?
I know, 100%.
Do you think they all have their sins?
It's not justifiable, but I understand how they, to some extent, why they reacted. I'm not justifying it.
Yeah.
But everybody was affected by me falling pregnant, whatever. Not even in regards to people, but my family. So, yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, is that because what you falling pregnant is something that you can't hide
Yeah,
from?
because
whereas people are keeping up with stuff
okay,
that
cool.
It's
you know
something
what I
you
mean?
don't even want to
that
hide.
are
Why should you hide
behind
from it?
closed
Why should you hide
but
from
that's
it?
the thing.
Yeah, but with you couldn't. Not saying you shouldn't hide from it, but
Yeah.
being pregnant, obviously everyone's aware of that.
Yeah,
but then
they can
people
do
are
their
doing
fucking
things
secret.
Yeah, in
But that's the
secret.
thing,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
I'm saying,
And
but
it's
for me, coming from a Christian, household, the right way of doing it is, you get married, you find your partner, you get married, you have a child.
But I don't
so
believe-
in that perspective, 100%, for me, I knew where I went wrong. However, it wasn't okay and it wasn't justifiable for them to carry on the way they did.
No, of
I
course
believe
not.
that you can rebuke someone, you can, tell them off as their leader or whatever it may be, which is correct, is a right way of doing things, but there should be a level of comfort and, love that's poured upon that person's made them realize that you made a mistake, but as God is love.
But
Throughout, so that's just
for
what I
you
didn't
to
get.
fall pregnant,
Yeah.
you weren't going by the scripture. Or what you, not by the scripture, but what you was being taught in the church at the time. So before you even fell pregnant, you must have had an inkling of what I'm being taught here is not how I want to live my life.
Yeah, I thought it was
a
lot. It was definitely
so a lot. So you was already thinking like this is a lot.
But that's the thing though, before I fell pregnant, all of this that's happening and has been brought to light now, it wasn't as apparent as it was before.
Okay.
And I was still standing by the fact there's a lot of things that SPAC has taught me. And that's not in terms of them manipulating the scripture to be a specific way or whatever maybe, but in terms of certain things that PT has said, there's certain things that have stuck with me that I remember, because it's like, this is actually, real life. This is, I can apply this to my life, but in the same, in the same breath,
it didn't work out like that. No, I feel you still. It's not always going to work out like that. I mean, we went in
and
the first
the one
instance.
thing I would say is, obviously, I've never been highly religious, in it. I'll never really say like, oh yeah, like I'm a really deep Christian. I've always kind of been someone that'd be like, yeah, okay, I take bits of this and I try and live my life good and try and live my life well, but I'll never kind of be like, yeah, I'm a Christian, because I know that I do a lot of stuff that may not be deemed as ungodly. Do you know what I mean? But no one can tell me that I don't know God or I don't.
But religion is very personal anyway, isn't it? I think it's a very personal relationship. It's something that, if you choose not to share it, then that's
my
fine.
business. Yeah, and I've always stuck to that. But obviously, when I went there, because I've been to different, I like to go to different churches to kind of see what the vibe is, like what it's like. Do I feel it? And I went there, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not like I didn't go there and feel any bad vibes. Like I went there and felt like, okay, this seems like a comfortable place. It seems quite like a family. It's like they kind of tie you in with that. Okay, you're part of something. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, like you can do this, you can do that.
You can definitely see.
One thing that I picked up from early was the judgment thing. Like, I don't know,
Really?
like, like, just in terms of even, like, standing up and preaching, but it's like you're preaching and then you're putting people down. Like, I don't like that.
No,
yeah,
that's not
and even
very...
like the focus on like money and stuff, and like obviously you want to be successful, but I feel like when you go to church, I'm not going to church to be like motivate. Like, I'll go to a motivational sermon or something if I want that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's more, I want to go there and feel love. I want to feel God. I want to feel closer to God. If I'm not feeling that, then it's a little bit...
it's questionable.
But I think nowadays, a lot of the churches, like, even SPAC, the way that they're set up and the way that they're being run is very similar to businesses.
They
church
have, is a business.
They have, like, a mission, like, what they're trying to achieve. And then they've got, like, their target audience, like, who they're targeting, how they're going to get to the target audience, and, like, how they're going to achieve their mission, innit? Like, a lot of businesses. So
this ain't the first, like, this is not the first.
No, definitely
do you know what I mean? It's
not.
just because we have social media and stuff now, it's like, okay, people can talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Or it's I think it's highlighted more. But this is not. This has been kind of stuff has been going on.
I'm not even talking about the activity necessarily. I'm just saying what the actual intention of the church is, because as you're saying, like, church is meant to be about love, and I think that somehow a lot of churches, not just SPAC, they're not
100%.
exactly.
100%.
It's not just about religion anymore,
but that's the
or
thing.
love, or providing support to someone, or do you know what I'm saying? And
no, I feel you.
That's what is missing in a lot of churches. That's why I don't go. I've never.
For me, I went to church from a young age, like with my parents and stuff. Like, my mum was very heavily involved in church, and even like, you know, like the ladies groups and things like that. Like, she'll go to that and stuff. Like, she was very heavily involved, and up until about the age of 10, we was like all going every Sunday. It was like a proper tradition in our family, and obviously there was something. Obviously I was young at the time. I don't know what the issue was, but it just wasn't, like you said, of... I'm not saying it's not of God, it was of God, but there was obviously some issues that were not, like, I don't know, don't want to be talking up the thing, but like, there was obviously some stuff that wasn't right, innit? And then anyway, it really ended so bitter, like...
With that church?
Yeah, like, to the point where it's like, even now, like, they still hold that grudge towards us for leaving. And it's like, it's so weird. But for me, from the age of 10, because of that experience, like, that was like a family to me. I didn't go to church. I really struggled to re-engage. And even now, like, I go to church once in a blue moon, but I really struggle because I feel like I don't want to get close to anyone again. Not like, do you know what I mean? Like, especially when it comes to religion, and feel like
when you've been through,
like, it was so weird. Like,
that's
I was
very similar. Like, even this whole like situation is very similar to that of Raymar. I don't know if you remember Raymar a few years ago. Big church in Croydon.
I feel like
I'm sure they even used to call it DSN Church.
Was it Potter's House?
Yeah, and the pastor, don't even be laughing. The pastor even, I'm sure he
Raymar, I've never heard of it.
he got I don't know how it works, but he was doing fraud, didn't he?
Okay,
and then they had to shut down the church. Like, he used to come church in, I'm sure, Rolls Royce or Bentley.
Oh, wow.
Like, similar situation. Well. This white man, white family, and then it's like the whole church is black.
Did he ever admit to what he done? Or?
Well, he must have.
I feel like
There's no point of it
I've
because
heard about this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just because
like,
of the way you just explained.
Raymar, like, it was a big. It was one of them. Everyone used to go. Like, it was like a hot.
But then,
setting.
do you feel like
it was in Stanley?
Do you feel like though, like, churches target a particular audience sometimes?
This is what I'm saying,
people who are like longing for something, who need some.
I think now more so than ever.
Yeah.
Because it's how it's kind of like a norm now. Like, I always say, like I said before, I don't. Maybe because I didn't see it in it, but I don't ever see SPAC to have started out like how it is now.
What it is now.
I think it's gone through a process. The influx of people coming young.
The bigger it gets, the harder it is to control.
Becoming more dominant. Like, I think the increase of stuff like that. I think that's what's changed the whole church. And I think that's what's happening now. I think people are realizing how, not even more so how easy it is, but just how, to some extent, how gullible we are.
People use the scripture to kind of
manipulate
manipulate it. Like, when they say stuff like about
100%.
tithing, I mean, I get it, but I feel like I've always thought with tithing, and this is my personal view, tithe what you can. Not be told that, 10% or 20% of what you earn. Like, that doesn't make you a better person if I could tithe 20 grand or whatever, and then go out and kill somebody. Like,
it's like hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I could generally give £2 that might be all I've got, and then.
I think it also comes
Do you know
down
what I
to
mean?
the matter of the heart as well. With the thing with giving, I don't think giving is just limited to money.
This is the thing though, but do you feel like, do you think that religion should really even, or the church has sometimes taken away from actual religion in it?
Yeah.
Do you mean like the settings of a church and the traditions of a church has taken away from the actual like Christianity and the practices of religion? I feel like sometimes you get distracted. Like when you're part of a church, you get more focused on like, oh, I need to go to church and give my tithe and make sure I'm wearing my son, and you're not even thinking about you're not even thinking about what the scripture's teaching.
Face, really. Like you want to be the one to be doing this and doing that.
Yeah, like
it's not.
Even sorry to go back to SPAC. I remember when we went. Well, I remember anyway, like going there and being like sort of in the middle at the back, whatever. And my friends that were there was at the front, you know, ready to go. And then afterwards, when the pastor's like coming to meet me or whatever, my friends
like mean a celebrity.
Yeah. And then my friends are like, oh my god, he's saying hello to you. I'm just thinking, I'm so confused.
Please make it clear which friends.
not you in it, but I'm not talking up no names.
The ones who won't be named.
I'm not giving them all that fame for free.
I think it's definitely more glamorized, man.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's been stirred away from what church, and I always go back to religion and relationship. Especially now after leaving SPAC, for me, it's my relationship with God that makes that's at the utmost importance to me.
Do you think it's changed your relationship with God, or do you think it's changed your perspective on religion? Like, how do you feel about your faith?
Yeah, my faith when I first left, 100% it had an effect, because it's just like everything you've learned, you're either put in place, you're having to unlearn it, and you have to question it. You're realizing that I weren't spending enough time with God. That now you're going through everything again just to make sure that what is actually
like now you're revealing
what you've been
yourself
taught is actually correct. And I think it affected the way that I saw religion, because like you said, SPAC is not the first church to be in something like this. There's other churches that maybe been swept underneath the rug and stuff. But I think one thing I've just taken from it is relationship is the most important thing, because religion
100%
is fancy now. Religion is very fancy now.
It's easy to get caught up in the glamour of it.
Exactly, and that happens, and we've seen that as, you know, the ongoing problem, because even with everything that's been brought to light, not everything is true, but the majority of things that have been brought to light that are factual, that we know to be factual, it hasn't changed people's perception on what or where they're attending. If anything, it's just like, okay, it's heightened it a little bit, a bit exciting. So I don't know, it's a weird one.
I suppose it's mad as well, because you're a mother now, so you actually, you know, you're raising a small child, a 2-year-old, you know, and how do you feel about bringing religion into her life? Like, how are you trying to raise her in a religious way? Like, what is going on in that perspective as a parent?
I'm just trying to, I think I'm just trying to teach her.
Okay.
Just teach her, naturally teach her, like, not make it forceful, because it was forceful for me at a time when I was growing up. And that didn't work. It was just me. I used to get excited. Sunday school. My Jesus like Sunday school. I'm not really taking him on Sunday school.
That's the way y'all new trainers to church. Yay! New trainer!
Sunday school. So now it's just for my 2.5
flexing everyone. Sunday school. Hello everyone. Yes, I'm here. My new
But now it's just, I think it's just changed it from that, and just teaching her, like, just making her see the fun side of God, not just making it daunting and making it scary, or making it, if you don't go to church on Sunday, your blessings are going to be taken away. No, just, okay, I think, quick example, we was playing, I think she dropped her doll somewhere, and I was like, okay, Shola, put your hands together, and I want you to pray and ask God for the doll. And she was walking, she's like, okay. She put her hands together, she's like, amen, amen. She's not talking it, she's just saying, amen, amen. And I was like, here it is, look, here's your doll, like, so baby. And she's just like, oh, right, that worked. And that's how I'm learning to teach her, because there's other ways of doing it without making it scary or fearful. Obviously, we have to still put the fear of the Lord in our children, but there's other ways of doing it that's not just... God. Or you have to be on it, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's just making
that's
it
me, that boy needs
he goes back.
honestly.
No, I don't think religion religion should be something that is like forced down your throat. I think that's one thing that I respect my family for, is that when I was younger, it was very much like my gran, she was very religious.
Yeah.
I had to go for her and I used to just hate it. It was actual torture. She used to make me sit there.
Yeah.
No, but you know, it's like you're
That was like
forced with your
my
gran,
mum's
you're
first
just
church.
sitting there. And she'd be doing like clapping and dancing. I'm just sitting there thinking, Mum, where
It's
are
so
ya?
hard. I've been here for hours. I've been here hours now.
That's a lot of us. That's how a lot of us.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
definitely.
as I've got older, I've realised with myself, like, situations happen and I've experienced God in my own way.
100%.
And I feel like everyone's relationship is so different. You shouldn't
100%.
feel like, oh, like you've got to do this and you've got to do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Like, because then
But-
it becomes a bit obsessive. Then I don't think that's natural.
I do agree with you, and I 100% think like it shouldn't be forced. But I do think, for me personally, like I definitely want to make sure that religion is incorporated into my child's upbringing.
100%.
Because
Yeah,
I feel like the
it's morals and
principles,
stuff.
yeah, like the morals, like teaching your children, like just little things like do not lie, don't steal, don't cheat. And I think a lot of the kids like of today's generation, the reason that they are how they are, they're a bit unruly, like they're 15, you know the mad thing already. It's because they don't, and they don't have a lot of like guidance. Like they got parents at home that don't go church or don't even say nothing to them about God. I'm not saying like you must.
I don't know though, because I feel like you can incorporate it. You can always incorporate it. Do you know what I mean? And there's always going to be, not always, but you can have a presence of the presence of God in your life in whatever aspect, whether you're going to church every week or whether it's just that, you know, your parents are teaching you to pray or like they're talking to you, you got your little Bible book or whatever. But I think it's always going to come down to your personal experience, because like on my side, I don't think I was never raised to be like highly religious. I had so many different like inputs of different religions kind of, so I'd take little bits of that and I'd go to church and occasionally, never like regular church, but I'd go to church like when it kind of, I don't know, when it was like occasions and stuff.
Yeah, like Easter.
Yeah. But then I never really actually took it in, would say, until I actually made the choice to go myself.
Yeah, and that's
And
a
then-
key point.
Yeah, and I think I was like, I must have been like 13, 14 when I decided, okay, I want to go to church for myself.
Yeah.
And there was a church near my house and I would go there like every Sunday. And then not long after that is when my dad passed away. And when he passed away, I was like, yeah, fuck this. Like,
How did that
God
shake
can't be
your on a
real.
level?
Yeah.
How did that actually shake your faith? Because I have never been through it, so I
Yeah,
can't
that
pretend
must
to
have-
understand.
it was magic because it was like,
crazy,
I felt like, wow, I'm trying to go to God, like go to church,
Do the right things,
and then literally in like a few months, this has happened. So it's just like, at first I was like, okay, let me use this to like be closer to him. Like, let me
get the Hennessy.
you know, pray on it and put my energy into it in a positive way. But then after, when I started to feel a certain kind of way, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, there's, because
the experience.
yeah, like when you're in a certain mind frame, you think there's no way that there can be a God and he's
If
making
this
this kind
happened,
of stuff
yeah,
happen.
the pain and stuff is
It's
undescribable.
crazy, but I think obviously now I'm older, and I've grown through that, and I feel like I've kind of not got past that, but obviously once you're over like the initial grief,
Yeah.
then you realize, because there's gonna be so many things in life that's gonna make you question if God's real, or do you know what I mean? If like, why would he make this happen? But what I think, when you have your own learnings and then you realize, okay, that his purpose is not just to make everything great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's part of life, learning that not everything in life is gonna be
I think
positive.
I think a lot of people will lose faith when they lose somebody close to them and they question like, oh, why would God do this and da 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 da.
I think
But at the same-
it either goes one way or the other.
Yeah.
But then I could say from my personal experience, I mean, I did question when not like my gran passed away, and that was a big thing for me. But then after that, like when I started re-engaging and stuff, I really noticed things happening, and I just thought, like for me, like when it came to things like, I remember I was in a job and I just wasn't happy, and then I got like I was gonna say a DM, it wasn't a DM, but on LinkedIn, someone approached me and was like, I've seen your profile, I think you'd be great for this job. Like, it was a pay rise, it was so much more opportunity, and I've obviously taken that step, and it was just the process was so smooth. Like, I was so unhappy in my job, and it just came to me, like, and it was so weird, and I questioned it so much, and anyway, I'm in that job now, and I'm genuinely really happy. I've been provided with so many opportunities, and like in other ways as well in my life, where I feel like I've been put in some serious situations and I've made it out. I'm okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think, sometimes I sit down and I think, how did I make my way out? How did I avoid, like, the trouble of sex. Do you know what I mean? Like, certain things happen, I just think, I'm glad to say I'm here today, but I'm here and I made it out. Whatever it was, you know what I mean?
But that's why it goes back to the importance of relationship. Because like I personally feel like God touches people in different ways.
100%.
The same way that after some time after you grieved your father, you were able to realise that, okay, do you know what? God shows his love, his grace, his mercy in different ways. Same way when you lost your grandma, like certain things were revealed to you, you still felt God's presence, but in a different way that you weren't used to it. And I think that's why, again, I'm glad and I'm grateful for my daughter, because that period of time was a time where me for myself in terms of my relationship, I got strengthened. And I found out about God found out about God stuff that I couldn't have found out if I was constantly, still doing up SPAC and church and church.
So let me ask you this just quickly: if you never had your daughter, her name, do you think you would still be there in SPAC? Do you really?
No.
Why?
Because I think after some time, certain things just didn't sit well with me. Certain
just the teachings
that were being taught about certain things in particular, I just couldn't agree with, and maybe more so because they were a bit more personal in terms of people who I knew, but I couldn't understand it and I couldn't agree with it. And just the way in terms of the way love was represented and displayed to me, I couldn't agree with it, because from what I was reading, it was two separate things. Like I said, I don't disagree that they rebuked me or whatever, but it's just the aftermath of that. Once you rebuke, what happens then? Do you now smother that person in love, or do you just leave them? That person now an outcast, so they just see him as shame. Because you can imagine someone's already feeding that. So you playing that ungodly role in that person's life, or that not reciprocating love or trying to make them feel a bit more better about themselves, you just question certain things. So I think eventually, even if I didn't have maybe not as fast, but eventually it would have happened, because just certain things just didn't come to that realization. And I couldn't bear the fact of leaving no more. It just needed to just.
But you know what? Something that was actually good for you anyway. Like, you had your partner, and it's like you both was able to take that step together in it. And I feel like religion in a relationship, especially when you're both like, devout Christians, like you're actively going to church, that level of understanding is important, because imagine the situation where one of you wanted to leave and one of you wanted to stay. We've seen.
I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for my unit, like my family and my partner, my child's dad. So grateful. Words will never. I wouldn't even be able to express it.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine.
Those kind of people will keep you grounded. Like, they kept me grounded, as well as me. My behind closed doors, what I was doing. They were the ones that, when it came in terms of being in the limelight or having to deal with it head on, they were behind me. So I'm very glad for the ones that did stick, because the ones that I did have as well, I let them go. But I'm glad for the ones that did stick.
Did you let them go, or did they?
I let them go. 100%. The ones that, like you guys that I stopped speaking to, I was the one that let them go, because of how I was taught to love. And how I was taught to keep friendships.
But the ones that are there in there.
No. Well, I think that we've covered I feel like we've covered like the background kind of thing now, innit? But what would be good to talk about now is the process of actually building back
a friendship.
Because I think like if you compare the position that we're in today from like a year ago, do you know what I mean? Like it's completely different. And I would have never really foreseen it. No, like in my mind it would have been lovely.
That's why it probably took me so much time to reach out to you guys as well, because it's just like.
But when I saw that you was the same guy, I'm thinking the same guy, guy. Good one.
I think it was just. Because like I said, I didn't just come to you guys after like a month.
You took time.
And it was still a process.
I had to get myself back together. I had to hold my family, and I had to prove a lot to myself as well during this time period. So I think, reaching out was, I think, very hard, because like I said, I've grown up with most of you guys. I've met most of you guys like halfway through my life, and we've grown a great foundation. Like,
we've had good times, man.
We had a rocky relationship. Like, it was a strong, firm. If you knew, you knew. Like, it's not. No, there's no gap. There's no
women dead. doing them there? Like,
so I think coming back to sort of, you know, men that relationship, it was just like
it's a lot. It's a lot. And obviously we're holding feelings because we're just thinking, raw, look,
I was vexed.
I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, when you have like me personally, I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm a grudgeful person. I really love to kind of just like if I can live life not with malice, then that's the best thing for me. Do you know what I mean?
For me, I don't think I'm grudgeful, but I think if you did something like nasty or spiteful to me, I wouldn't be mentioning again. But it wasn't that you did.
I think that was one of the
you didn't do nothing. Like it was just like you went on a different path. Like, and everyone has that in their life sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
And the same way we're able to sit down and have this discussion is we've had these discussions. Do you know what I mean? And as we've been building back this friendship, we discuss it.
But I think it's just shedding more light on just relationship over religion, man. Because that's what our people need. Like church, like we said, is glamorized. It's been
especially for young black people.
Yeah. How many people now, not just in necessarily SPAC, just because it's on the topic, but in church like that, do you think have maybe lost contact with their family or people? You know what I'm saying? These people that will really,
some
really
people don't have that family foundation. You have to, do you know what I mean? You can't assume that everyone has that.
And I think that's what makes it worse as well.
Because once they get a family, like
a sense of belonging.
This is what I'm saying about this business structure.
It's targeting the vulnerable people.
Yeah, they know exactly who they're targeting and they know how. Do you know what I'm saying?
And then once you're sucked in,
it's very difficult.
Yeah, because then you feel kind of like you're betraying or stuff like that.
Well, the thing is, you leave and then it's like, right, I ain't got no friends because I dash away my friends or I dash away my family. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like I'm gonna leave, be by myself, or should I stay and just ride it out?
And I think that's what you learn most importantly when you leave as well, is about that. God would never have required you to cut off the whole world. Even if you're taking time out to really get to know yourself and find yourself and God and find your identity, God will never challenge you to that extent to cut off everybody. Because at the end of the people, those people still need saving. And I wish I had the knowledge that I had now before.
But that's growth.
That's what I would have been telling myself, that it's not that I'm cutting them off because we were doing well with that stuff. It's just let them see that seed in you, that seed of growth, because that will be a seed for them.
But the thing is, I don't know what scripture it is. I mean, I definitely don't know what scripture it is. but I remember, like, from what I understood of church is that God comes to you at wherever you're at, and He meets you. You don't have to be like, do you know what I mean? You could be like seriously troubled, whatever. Like you could be doing the most. But seriously. That doesn't. But then, so that's my understanding. So I feel like I've never seen religion or Christianity to be perfection. I've seen it as that, like, you have your own particular journey and God meets you up where you're at, and that's just, do you know what I mean?
And I'm glad you have that experience.
And that's what and even the church, like when I do go to church, that's kind of what they teach you. So I don't expect to be like, oh, I've got to be doing this, I've got to be tithing this and da-da-da. Like, I think I'm in my own lane.
God is not perfection.
That's you being able
in my own lane.
Be strong with that and like be, because you can now, you walk through flipping Croydon today or any like town centre, you're gonna get stopped by someone that's gonna say, come to my church, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm not really against that, but in a way I am, because I think
you should want to
be
go.
I think it's choice.
But I think, do you know
finding
what,
the church now
doing,
is hard.
Do you know what's so mad? I don't think what they're doing is a bad thing, because at the end of the day, a lot of people need salvation, and we need to be taught about salvation. We need maybe somebody to find us in our dark place after walking through the shopping mall to reach out to us. But I think it's just because of how church has been perceived to us and been shown to us, that it's
and
just
who
made
they
it
target.
And I think now, even for me going to another church to visit another church, I'm just like, okay, Pastor, what are you saying? Okay, let me write down what Pastor's saying. I need to go revise that at home to make sure that's what's actually in the scripture. Like, you're double checking, you're cross checking everything. You want to have the spirit of discernment to be able to discern when people are telling you lies. I don't think there's something wrong, but I think it's just, again.
But that's why it's always important to do your own, like, go to church, but have your own relationship. You know what I mean? Like, make that a priority to you, so you know your relationship with God. No one can kind of make you doubt that or whatever. And that will guide you. Guiding feet. Once you have a relationship with God and God's able to speak to you about certain things, you won't be going into churches being skeptical or seeking.
No.
Because you'll feel the vibes. You'll feel like
that's the thing. So I think.
I think
definitely
Heavenly
elation.
vibes. I've felt it before. I'm joking.
God forgive you, honestly.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about church.
But I suppose wrapping up now. Has anyone got anything else like that they would like to cover that we didn't get to cover?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just one of them things. Black people and church has been for years. Do you know what I mean? But I just
need to know what you're.
You need to know what you're getting into, and I feel like churches will always use. I mean, not always, but you're always going to get some churches that are going to try and take advantage of. To
get their benefit.
Yeah, because like black people in poor communities, like obviously they need a little hope, a little faith, and sometimes it does make them an easy target. So I just feel like going forward, it's just important to be like clued up. And
find like, just don't feel like you belong anywhere because of anyone. Like, just find your own identity. Like, seriously, like, I know people who are still involved in whatever they're involved in, and I will just say, find your own identity and take time out to just love on yourself and get to know yourself, because that's the only way you can reciprocate love to other people. You have to love yourself. Get to know. You know, you love God, you love yourself, thing. And then you're able to reciprocate the love you have for yourself for other people. If you can't love yourself, then you don't know your own identity. You're going to continue to be fishing out for it in other places or, institutions.
Just be a good person.
Good heart.
Above everything.
Then everything else will come.
The heart,
definitely. And if you feel like you need to rekindle with friends, do it.
Not all the time.
No, not all the time. But I mean, but if you feel like, you want to address things, sometimes let pride aside, because sometimes it works out in your favour.
Definitely. We're a testament of that.
Definitely.
We're going.
Shareet. Hi,
We're going out, ladies.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night. There we go.
But obviously, aside from that, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Joined by our lovely guest, Lola Day. But make sure that you follow us on our socials, Down to Mars Official.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Like,
comment.
We appreciate all feedback as well.
Honestly, let us know what you think and what you want to hear.
Tell
all
a
that
friend
good stuff.
to tell a friend.
Yes, and we will be back very soon with some more content.
Goodie pan the mic.
All right then. Well,
thank you.
See you later. Bye.